Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and Spirit directly through channeling about what makes you so attractive. What do other people find attractive about you? And so I have 4 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, and this will be group number 4. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then I'll just move on to the reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Mops tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1. The people who will choose group number 1, what makes them so attractive? What are people attracted to about the people who will choose group number 1? I am getting something like I got an image of Virgin Mary, and so I think one of the things that people are quite attracted to about you is your purity. Like you seem like a very pure soul. Like you seem quite untouched in some way, like there's also something about you seeming quite youthful, like you're a very pure and youthful person. Like you seem to others like also a very motherly person. Like people see you as a very motherly, caring person, and people are very attracted by the care and the love and the empathy that you that you give off to people. Like that people can sense that you're a very empathetic person, that you seem to genuinely care about others. Like you don't seem to fake it. Like you seem very honest and truthful, and people instantly believe that you want the best for them and that you have good intentions, and people just instantly know that you actually care, that you're not playing any games, you don't have a hidden agenda. What you see is what you get. And so people just know that if you show love and affection for a person, if you show interest in a person, that like people instantly know that it's genuine, that it's like I'm just sensing that people are quite attracted to how genuine you are. Like but I'm also sensing that, like, I wanted to say natural before, but the spirit kind of stopped me from saying that, because I don't think people, like, I don't think you are necessarily that natural in your look. Like, maybe you actually make an effort into looking the way that you look. So maybe you put on makeup and you wear clothes that are maybe like you might decorate yourself in various ways, but I think it's more something that you do because you're good at it. Like, you're a creative person and you like to express yourself creatively, and so you do that through either makeup or the way that you dress, or the way that you accessorize, and so I think that's something that people also are very attracted to, is the fact that you seem to you care for others, but you also care for yourself. Like, you're not the type of person who forgets yourself. Like, you like someone who, like, you're not you're not so completely invested in others that you forget to do what you like to do, and pamper yourself. And like, or maybe I don't know if it's true, but I feel like people just see you as someone who is like who's taking care of yourself. Like, you take care of, and like, you make sure that you look good, and not for others. It doesn't seem like you do it for other people. You do it to make yourself feel better about yourself, and it makes you more confident, and it makes you like, and so it's I'm not sensing that you do it to get attention from others, or to fit in better, or to live up to some kind of ideal, or it's more because you like to do these things. But I'm also sensing that like, that there's some kind of pride here. I don't know if it's pride in who you are, but I feel like people are very attracted by the fact that you are proud about something about yourself, or where you come from, or what kind of community you're a part of, or like, maybe you're proud of your heritage, or your of your roots, or like pride, like the some maybe you're a part of the LGBTQ community, and you're proud of being a part of it, and not ashamed of it. But that's more specific for a few of you. But I'm sensing that people like the fact that you seem to be proud of something that is a big part of you, and a big part of your life. But what else makes group number 1 so attractive to others? I'm sensing that there's also something about your voice. You might have a bit of a raspy, or a bit like just a bit harsh, a bit of a harsh voice, and I think people find that really attractive. That you kind of like, sometimes you might your voice might sound like you've smoked a lot of cigarettes, and like right away, and like how you how you sound after smoking a whole pack of cigarette in a very short amount of time, so, but that's specific for a few of you, but I think people do like the sound of your voice, and find that very attractive. There's also something about the way that you speak that makes people very captivated. Like, you have a way of mesmerizing people with your words, and so I think some of you are quite good writers, or quite good poets, or like you have a way with words that people are instantly very mesmerized by. I think also, like, you have some kind of creative talent that you use on a regular basis. Maybe you, like, if you're a writer, or if that's your talent, you might write certain things and maybe post it on your social media account or something, and people can read it there or something. And I think many people have noticed that you have a great talent for that, and have also kind of fallen in love with you through reading your words and reading your work, because you are. I'm just sensing that there's something that you're quite talented at. I don't know if it's writing or something else, like singing or painting or something, but it seems to be more of a creative talent. But I think when people see your work, they instantly kind of, like, some people instantly fall in love with you when they see that, because they get impressed by it. But I'm gonna shuffle the cards now and see what the cards have to say. With 5 of Pentacles, I think people see you as a bit of an outsider, and I think that's something that people find attractive, is that you seem to always have a different opinion than others. Like, you always have a different point of view than the rest of the people that you are surrounding yourself with. Like, you always take the side of the underdog, and you always, like, you might have a tendency to always pick the unpopular opinion, and you might be like, you might like to play the devil's advocate sometimes, and just, like, if everybody agrees on something, you kind of like to maybe be that one person who who disagrees, just to spice things up, I guess, like make it interesting. Like maybe you don't like when everybody agrees because that's boring. Like that, what's the fun in that? Like, and then you want to lighten the mood and make it interesting, and so you do, and there's nothing bad about doing that, and actually it's actually working for you, because it's actually what people find attractive about you, is that you play the devil's advocate and you like to humor the idea of actually being against everybody else, and taking on the unpopular opinion, and see if you can argue that case. Like maybe you like to see if you can argue an impossible case. Like maybe some of you are lawyers or something like that, and so you like to see if you can make a case out of something that seems impossible, like and argue for a case that seems to be impossible to win. And so just to see if you can do it, just to see if you can win people over to the dark side, and like even though if you're not on the dark side yourself, like you don't believe, like I think when you put on the unpopular opinion, or take the unpopular opinion on you, then it's just for fun. It's not because you actually believe it. Like it's not your opinion, it's just something you do, and then you see if you can get everybody on board with it just for the heck of it. Like and I think people actually enjoy that, and kind of like the fact that you spice things up a bit, and that you're not boring, and that you're not the type of person who just agrees with everybody else, and yeah, with the two of swords here, I think people see you as quite like you're quite harmonious but it seems, or in balance. I think you people do see you as very balanced, a very balanced person. Like nothing really takes you down. Like nothing really people can't really like you seem very strong. Like people can't hurt you. Like people, if people say something nasty to you, you're quite good at just ignoring it and not letting it get to you. And I think people find that very attractive, that you don't seem to be bothered by other people's hateful words. Like you seem to actually be quite zen. Like you're very like you're maybe also just very self-aware, and like you know who you are, and you know what, and you know who you are not. So when people get at you, when people attack you or say something hurtful to you, if it's not true, or if you don't resonate with it, then you don't just brush it off. Like you think, well, that's just an idiot saying idiot stuff. Like that's not something that should get to me. And so I think you're quite good at filtering the bullshit away. And like if people say something to you, you just brush it off, because there's nothing to it. And so I think, and people find that very attractive, that that you seem to be very very strong, and also maybe that that you're a bit you're maybe a bit stronger when you're with someone than when you are on your own. Which is a weird thing that some people would find attractive. Like it's a bit weird that some people find that attractive, but I think some people do find it attractive that you seem to be better in a group setting than on your own. Like and I don't think you necessarily resonate with it yourself. Like you don't see that as something that makes sense to you, because maybe you're the type of person who likes to work alone, and you might feel like you don't play well with others. But I think other people see it a bit differently. I think other people see how you actually play very well with others, and that you seem to have a very natural way of just blending into another person. Like you just become one with another person, and so and which is a bit weird, because on the other side, like you tend to have tend to want to be the devil's advocate. You want to be the one who's sticking out, like who's who stands out from the crowd. Like you want to be the one who disagree, like that one person who disagrees with all the others. But that's more when you're in discussions and like in conversations with a lot of people at once. But I feel like people have also noticed that like you might have a best friend or someone that you hang out with a lot in your life, maybe even a sibling, maybe even like, but I don't know, but people see that you blend into that person and become that person, become one with that person. And I know it's a bit weird to find this attractive, but I think people like you might get to the point that when you're friends with someone, like you become best friends with when you become best friends with someone, like you start having like local jokes, like that's just that only you two understand, and maybe you have had these sorts of friendships in the past where you just it seemed like you had your own language, and I think many people find it attractive in the sense that that people see you together with that friend, and they kind of would want that for themselves. Like people want to be with you because they feel like maybe if they were in a relationship with you, then you two would become a unit, and you two would have local jokes together, and like people tend to see it that way and want to be a part of it, want to be a part of the of that kind of dynamic. And so when people see you have that sort of dynamic with someone, they kind of feel attracted to you and want to have that with you as well, if that makes sense. And with a 6 of Swords, I think people are quite attracted to the fact that you seem to be a very loyal person. Like, you're the type of person who, like, when you make a friend, you make a friend for life. Like, you never abandon anyone. Like, you even like you never turn your back on anyone. Like, you seem to be the ride or die type of person who sticks around with people until the very end. And so people see you as a very loyal person, someone who wouldn't just like and that's something that people are very attracted to, because they see you as someone who would never hurt them, and like people see you as marriage material because they see you as a Mother Teresa. They see you as someone who's a very good person, like deep, like on the surface, but also just deep down and all the way through, like very, very good-hearted. And so they see you as someone who would never leave them, and if you left, you would take them with you. And I don't know how, but you would think of a way to put them in your backpack or something, like, or even like, I don't know. But you feel like people just sense that you're not the type of person who just walks away from without giving an explanation, and like and with the 5 of Swords, I think people see you as someone who I think people see you as someone who's good at collecting the like when you're having a conversation with someone, you notice if someone gets disrupted mid-sentence. Like, you notice if someone gets cut off and someone else starts talking, and like you notice it very like, and so if you notice someone that is being disrupted by someone else mid sentence, then you let that person who disrupted, you let that person or interrupted. I think it's interrupted. I never know which one is the correct one. I'm sorry, but interrupted, like you let that person speak, even though it's a bit rude that they interrupted that other person, but you let that person speak, and then when they are finished speaking, you go to the person, like you talk to the person that was interrupted by that other person, and ask that person to continue what they were talking about before they got interrupted. And so you're good at like you're good at picking up the pieces, and good at picking up the thread. When the thread gets lost, you are good at picking it up again, and make sure that everybody gets heard. And make sure that everybody like that it's fair. Like, no one like, you're good. I also think people notice that when people share information with you, you remember the information. Like, when you meet them again, you remember what they said the last time you spoke. Like, if someone if someone tells you that they're dog is sick, and then a few weeks later you meet that person again, you will immediately ask them about the dog, like what happened with like did it get better? Did the dog get better? Like you seem to be good at remembering details about like details that people have shared with you, and so you ask about them afterwards, and people notice that, and people are attracted by the fact that you seem to be very like you seem to notice a lot of things and remember a lot of things about people, and so and people find that very attractive. Also with the Two of Swords, this is something that has more to do with physical, but I was just thinking about it, and so I'm gonna share it. But when I think of Two of Swords, I usually think of core strength, and so people might find it quite I don't know if this resonates with all of you, but I think people are usually quite attracted to your core, your mid, like your what's it called, your waistline, or your stomach area, or that might be something that people are physically attracted to. But I'm also just sensing that this that people people are really attracted to how attentive you are. Like you seem to be very present in the moment. Like you're not aloof. You're not and you don't seem to be like when you are with a group of people, you don't seem to want to be somewhere else. Like you seem very content with being where you are, whenever you are where you are. Like you don't seem to be like you never seem to be like unhappy about being where you are. Like you seem to be quite content, and you seem to like, you're not the type of person who's talking to a group of people but secretly wishing that you would that you were talking to someone else instead. Like you seem to be very just happy and grateful for the people that are around you at all times. Like and you seem to be very interested in all people. Like you don't you never think that, oh, this person is not interesting, I wish I was talking to someone who was more interesting. Like because I think you see something interesting in every person that you meet. Like and if you can find something interesting about a person, you seem to realize that it's your fault. Like it's like then you're not digging deep enough. Like then you're not doing your, like then you should just, then it's your job to find something interesting about that person. And so and so I think you keep digging for something, and I think you usually find that's something that makes another person interesting to you. Like you never give up on a person, even the most boring person in the world. You still, like, you seem to be able to get to the core and find something fascinating about that person, and I think that's a very very great quality to have, and people find that to be a great quality as well, because they find it quite attractive. That they find it attractive that you seem to be interested in everyone you meet, and you don't get bored easily. Like you seem to be very content with you never seem bored by anyone, like or by anything. Like you seem very interested in everything, and everyone, and you can find the exciting thing about everything. Like you can read through a very, very boring book and find something interesting about it, and like I think people just admire the fact that you seem to be able to find something interesting about anything, like and I think but I think there is also something about religion here. I don't know if you're religious, but I think people find that quite attractive, that you believe in something bigger than yourself, and people see it as very humble. Like they see it as like I think many people see your religion or your way of expressing your own religion as you being quite humble and quite like you believe in something bigger, and you believe in a plan, and you believe that you have a purpose, but you don't believe that your purpose is like this, like grandiose, like it's not like grandiosity, it's not, but you're very humbled by your religion, and maybe just and you're also like you have a humbling effect on others when you talk about religion, because I think other people also get the sense that of humility, or that there is that maybe you also have a tendency to make people feel a bit like feel a bit silly sometimes when they like when people are talking about their issues, and maybe you have a tendency to make them, I don't know if this has anything to do with religion per se, but you might have this tendency to put things in perspective and make them realize that it was maybe a bit silly to worry so much about something when it really didn't matter that much. Like and you might be a bit of a word of, like you're a word of reason. Like you reason with people and make people understand and realize, oh yeah, that was a bit silly that I was so obsessed with this one thing, or that I like, or that I was so worried about this, or now that you put it in perspective, I realize that it really wasn't that big of a deal, or something like that. And I think people like that. People are very attracted to that. and so yeah, like I feel like you have a very like not a small ego, but like don't have a blown up ego. Like you're not very egotistical, or like you're very like people see you as very humble and very like you're like the opposite of someone who struggles with grandiosity. Like you talk yourself down maybe more than you talk yourself up, and maybe it's yeah, but that's something people find very attractive about you, is your how humble you are. People do realize that you are really amazing and talented and great in every sense, but they know that people instantly know you're talking yourself down, like you're not, that you're just a very afraid of bragging, and so you but and people realize and people like the fact that you like people are attracted to the fact that you're humble, so yeah, like they like that you're not full of yourself, you're not yeah, but yeah, I want to shuffle some of these archetype cards for you, to see if there's like how people, like what people find attractive about you, but also oh, so people see you as a goddess, like so people it says the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. And so I think people see you as someone who's rather feminine, but also someone who's very wise, like if someone who has a lot of wisdom to share. But people also, I feel like people, it kind of goes hand in hand with the Virgin Mary that I saw in the beginning. Like people might see you as a bit of an ideal for, if you're a woman, you might be considered the ideal woman, like not that Virgin Mary was, but like she is kind of in some places she is worshipped as a type of goddess, in a very weird sense, but like not that it's not weird. It's like I like that, but yeah. I think yeah, people also with the life force, that I think people see you as someone who's quite like, because you're so attentive and like you care about people and you give people your time, like you're very generous with your time, like you people feel like you, when they are with you, you're completely focused on them, and it's it's a part of, like, I think you are very charismatic. People see you as very charismatic, and people are very attracted to the fact that you are very charismatic. And one of the things about being very charismatic is to be a very good listener and make people feel like they are very special, and make people feel like you care about them. And that's like, and people see you that way. People see you as someone who actually, like, people feel like you give them your undevoted attention, or how do you say I don't know if that's correctly worded, but like, but people see you as someone who gives a lot to people, people also might see you as someone who shares a lot, and maybe people see you as a bit of an oversharer sometimes. Like, sometimes you might share a bit too much intimate stuff with people, like to like but I think people feel like you're good at sharing, and you're good at listening. You're good at making people feel like instantly when you're with them, you become like one with them. Like you, it seems to, like, other people feel like when they talk to you, they feel like they've known you forever. Like it's so familiar. Like you seem so familiar to them, and they feel like they can instantly trust you, and like, and you people now, like, people feel like you're like, if you have a dinner a dinner date with someone, and like you make people feel like they are the priority. Like if something comes up, like if someone calls you and you have to and someone asks you to come for whatever reason, you tell them that you can't right now because you are with someone else at the moment, but you can come afterwards. Like you would rather postpone someone else, like you or something else. Like you might make people your priority, or if you have a plan with someone and then but another plan with another person right before the other plan, you but you feel like it's more important, like that the person that you're talking to first has a lot on their heart that they have to share with you, and so you feel like you can't really leave them because they are dealing with a lot and you need to be there for them. Then you would rather cancel that other plan if it wasn't that important anyways. Like you are good at prioritizing your time and giving people the time that they need, and make sure that everybody feels like they are being seen by you and you are giving them enough attention and that you're not neglecting anyone. And I think people just notice that about you, and people see you as someone who seems to just have like more to give than normal people, like than the average person. Like you, and it's very positive. And but that is what. But also, like with the goddess, if we talk about the physical, people see you as a very physically attractive person. If you're a woman, people see you as very feminine, and has also as someone who has a very feminine body, and also this person has makeup on, and so maybe you are very good at putting on makeup in a very creative way, and people also notice that and find that very attractive about you, that you're also like that you don't just have a natural look, but even though I think you are very beautiful without makeup and without all of that, but you're beautiful as well when you put on the makeup, and mostly it's not necessarily that you look more attractive, it's more that the confidence or the feeling that you get from doing that might be what might be something that people pick up on, and so yeah, if it's something that you really enjoy doing, then I think it's working for you, and if it makes you very happy, then it's clearly working. So yeah, people find you very beautiful, and so yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was enjoyable, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to book one, and yeah, have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2, you chose this. Whoa, okay, you chose this the Grunge Tarot, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you, but I'm gonna start with this card here because it fell out of the group, of the deck, and I've never experienced that happen before, and so it must mean something. So it's the World reversed, and so I feel like for some of you, there might be this might not necessarily have anything to do with the topic of this particular video, this reading. But so it's something that I think maybe it's. I feel like some of you, like your world has been turned upside down recently, and I think I feel like the spirit wants you to know that you're doing amazing with what you have, and that this might have been very upsetting, that something has happened recently that really just tore your life into a lot of pieces, and you've been trying to to gather the pieces again, and it might have been very hard, but I just want you to know that the spirit acknowledges that it's been very tough for you, and wants you to know that it's okay to not be okay, but it's also wants you to know that you couldn't, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, just because you haven't completely moved on from it yet, because everything takes time, and it's okay to not be okay, because when your world has been turned upside down, it's very hard to look at things clearly and look at yourself clearly, because your you don't really have anyone to compare yourself to, because your world is upside down and everybody else's world is not upside down. So you're comparing yourself to people that are upright when you are reversed, and it's an unfair comparison. So I just wanted that to deliver that message to you, some of you, if it it just came, yeah. So, but I'm gonna talk about the topic of the reading. Maybe something else is gonna come through about that again, but I think I kind of feel like you need an uplifting video and like an uplifting reading, and that was probably why you came here in the first place. You wanted to be uplifted and find out what's attractive about you, and you wanted a fun reading, not a dark and heavy reading. And so it's not going to be a dark and heavy reading, but I just want you to know that it's going to be okay, but it's also okay not to be okay. Everything takes time, and it's a journey, it's a process, it's also very individual. Like some people take more time than others to get through hard things, and but now I'm gonna focus on what other people find attractive about you, what people find attractive about you, group number 2. What makes you so attractive to others, group number 2. Group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2. What makes group number 2 attractive to others? What are people attracted to about group number 2? I think people are attracted to well, at the moment, I think some people are actually quite attracted to the fact that you've had some hardships in your life, like that. It kind of gives you some spice, some seasoning. People find it interesting, but I'm also sensing that you're a good storyteller. Like you're good at like people are attracted, like when you share stories about your life or things that have happened, or like people are very captivated by your stories and find your stories very fascinating and interesting, and sometimes a bit too crazy to be true. Like some people might feel like some of the stories that you have told people about your life and your childhood, and people have a tendency to not quite believe them in the at first, because they feel like that can't be true. Like, it's not that they think you are a liar. It's more that they just see you, like they just don't want to believe that it's true. Like they don't they feel like it's too heavy. Like no one should go through that, and so they kind of wish that it wasn't true, or that you're exaggerating because for your own good, because it and some of your stories about your own life like might be a bit hard to believe for some people, especially people who have never experienced anything like it in their life. But I think like people are quite interested in you, and people see you as a very deep person. Like there are a lot of layers to you, a lot of like you're very you have like a lot of flavor to your personality, like because of all your experiences, because of all the things you've been through. Like you're very flavored. Like you're not vanilla at all. Like you're like you're not a boring person. Like people feel like when they get to know you, like every time they think they've gotten to know you, they realize that there's another layer underneath that they haven't even started to dig through. So like, and people find that attractive about you, that it's an like you're quite bottomless. In a like you're so deep that like that it's endless. Like there's endless depth to you. Maybe you're also bottomless, or in another sense, like maybe you have worn some clothes in the past, or now, or like that, like maybe you've worn dresses that were a bit short, like you had forgotten to put on pants. Or maybe some people thought about that. But I think people still found that attractive, though, because you might have really great legs, so you should show them. And so, but I think people do. People fall in love with the fact that you have a way of mesmerizing people. Like you people get like, I also think like you're a very smart person. You're very wise, and like you seem to, because of your past experiences, like you seem to be very good at analyzing people. You know when you like you're probably also quite good at diagnosing people, which is not necessarily a good thing, but people find it attractive nonetheless. Like because people find like people know that you know your stuff. Like you might be quite good at good at picking up on signs, like you can tell if someone is a psychopath, or if someone has borderline personality disorder, or you can tell it, like, if like, and you're probably quite good at analyzing people and figuring out like why they are the way they are, and why they do the things they do, and like you're probably good at analyzing behavior, like what drives people to do certain things. You have a lot of knowledge about the human behavior. And I think also like psychology, philosophy, literature, like I think you know a lot. Like you've also read a lot of books. Like you seem to know a lot, and people notice that, and people like I'm getting that people people fall in love with your brain. Not that people don't fall in love with your physical appearance, but more that that you attract people who are more sapiosexual, or that people just fall in love with you in a more sapiosexual way, that there's just something so captivating about your mind, that it kind of overshines or outshines your physical being, which is not to say that your physical being is not shining, it's just that your mind overshines it, which is a good thing, I think. And but there's also something about you where you might be a bit quirky. Like there might be something that people pick up on about you, that like you might be the type of person who doesn't seem to care that much about what other people think about you. Like you might dress in a way that you don't care what other people think about how you dress. Like you, if you choose to dress in goth, you do that. Like if that's your mood one day, then you're just gonna do it, and then like it might not be a thing that sticks. Like you might dress in like all black one day, and then the next day you dress in flower patterns all the way through, and like but I think the common denominator is that you don't care. Like you're not dressing yourself in order to impress anyone, or to fit in, or to make other people happy or something. You dress because it makes you happy, or that's how you want to dress, and so you do. And maybe you don't really care that much about your looks. I was thinking about Björk, the singer, before, when I said human behavior, then the song came through. And so I think that might be a hint that you have some similarities to Björk, in the sense that maybe like she didn't really care about her physical appearance. She didn't. She always looked cute though, but she wasn't dressing herself in order to please anyone. And there was one interview where someone asked her if something about if she didn't like why she didn't focus on looking good and why she and if it didn't bother her that she like or something, I don't know, but and Björk said that that she only looked good, or not good, but looked she only dressed up for Christmas, and that was enough for her. And then the rest of the year she didn't care. And but she was dressed up at Christmas. And so maybe you kind of have that vibe where where the physical appearance is not important, and that it's like it's why should it care? Like, you dress up for Christmas, or and then that should be enough. Like, I don't know, but I feel like I don't know, but I think like you might also have some kind of have a quirkiness to you, like which is very like people like it. People find it adorable, and I think like you have a likability, like people like you, and people also like you because you're not trying to impress anyone. Like you're not trying to please anyone. You're just living your life as you want to live it, and so it's and I think people find that admirable and attractive. So with the Page of Wands reversed, I think people are attracted to the fact that you're maybe not like you're this card here says just like you, and so when it's reversed, this card might just indicate that people find it attractive that you stand out from the crowd. You're not trying to be like everybody else. You're not trying to mimic other people. You're not trying to dress like other people. You're not you're doing things your way. Like you're not trying to be like other people. You're trying to be like yourself. You're not trying to play a role. You're not trying to be something you're not, or act as if you're someone or something else than you are. Like you're just you. Like you're just the way you are, and you're and yeah, I think people enjoy that that like you're not the type. You also seem to not be the type of person who's trying very hard to be different. Like you're not a special snowflake type of person. Like you're not. And Björk was not that way either. And that was kind of the admirable thing about Björk. I'm not a fan really. Like, or I don't know. I don't know enough about Björk really, like to have an opinion, or I've not heard enough of her music to have an opinion on that either. So, but I think like she was like a lot of people try really hard to be different. But I just feel like Björk just was different, and like she didn't really try. She seemed to not make an effort to be different. It was just the way she was, and so it would have made a more effort for her to try to be something else than who she was. And so some people are just, I guess, born original and born like a bit quirky and different, and maybe you're just one of them. And but I just feel like people find it attractive that you're not trying to be different, you're not trying to be original, you're not doing things like the opposite of everybody else just to stand out, yeah. With temperance here, I think people find it attractive that that you seem to you seem to go from 0 to 100 quite quickly, which shouldn't be necessarily something that something positive, but I think people find it a bit attractive that sometimes you react a bit too much to something, and people find it actually very cute, I think. When like if someone says something, you might get angry, but you might get like people don't I don't know why, but I feel like people don't really take you that seriously when you get angry, because maybe you get angry in a bit of a cute way or in a bit of a funny way, and so people don't really take you seriously and just find you a bit cute when you're like a chihuahua, like maybe you're also very very short, but and so or just I don't know, but I'm just sensing that people when you get mad over something, like it seems more like you are pretending to be mad, even though I don't think you're the type of person who pretends to be mad. But for some reason, people don't take you seriously when you get mad. I don't know why. But maybe it's a bit of a gimmick that you do sometimes, where you act as if you're mad about something even though you're not. But I'm also just sensing that like you also go from 0 to 100 when you get excited about something. Like you might be the type of person who gets really excited about Christmas, for instance, and maybe you go a bit overboard with it, like the type of person who starts singing Christmas songs in late September because of, like, why not? And maybe the type of person who gets really excited about like when there's something like when a new season of your favorite show comes back on in the television, and then you get really excited and can't really think of anything else until the release date or something like that. Like, you might get really excited about things, and people like the fact that you get overly excited about small things that some people might not really understand why you're so excited about it. But I think, like, when you're, I think it's admirable, but I think it's also something that kind of happens sometimes when people have been through a lot of hard things in their life. They tend to start getting excited about small things, because sometimes it's people, the people who seems the most happy and most happy about the smallest things, most grateful for the smallest things, are those who have had a really tough life, and because it's more like the spoiled brats who tend to not see the joy in the small things. But I don't know. But I think people really like that you get excited about small things. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some more cards for you. Group number 2. What do people find attractive about group number 2? 2 of Pentacles. I think people like the fact that you're good at no, I don't like. I think you juggle a lot of things, but I don't think you're necessarily good at juggling a lot of things at once. I think some of you might be quite bad at multitasking, which is a bit weird why some people would find that attractive. But I think some people find that to be, like, endearing in some way. Like, people. Like, maybe you're the type of person who sometimes, when you're doing something and then you get distracted and then you forget what you were doing, and then people have to remind you, and maybe you have a bit of ADD or something, like, so you get distracted really easily, and I think people find that attractive for some reason, that you're a bit like. That you seem to be a bit like you get caught up in, also that you might get caught up in your own thoughts sometimes, and you might get distracted by your own thoughts, and then you just look out blankly out in the air, and while you're thinking about something completely different. And I think when people see you just, like, staring out in thin air, people assume that you have, like, these deep thoughts, and so they are attracted by it. Like, they think it's like they wonder what you're thinking about, and maybe you're just thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner or something, but they don't know that. Like, they think you're like figuring out the meaning of life or something. And um and yeah, like I think people um people also see, like, people seem to like the fact that you are a bit shatterbrained or scatterbrained. Like you um that you like you might have like this where you maybe you talk about something and you sound a bit crazy sometimes when you talk about it, but like when you might have some crazy ideas about philosophy or something like that, and you like, and maybe you've shared them with some people, and maybe some people have thought that you were a bit crazy because you have some crazy ideas that are a bit like crazy, like but still brilliant. Like, I think you have your people are quite attracted to the fact that you have that crazy brilliance that where people can't really tell if you're just nuts or if you're the next Tesla. Like, you're and he was nuts. So it's this, or so people say. Like, I don't know, but like you have people are attracted and interested in the fact that that you're a bit crazy, but also brilliant, and that there is a lot of brilliance within the craziness. Like, the fact that you can think in these crazy patterns and come up with these crazy ideas makes you an inventor, makes you a pioneer, a visionary. Like, it makes you different. Like, you think in a different way than others. You perceive the world in a different way than other people do, and so you can come up with original thoughts and original ideas. And I think people are very attracted to your originality, or your original thought pattern, your creativity, your creative thinking. But also with the Three of Cups, I think people see you as someone who likes to have a good time, and people are attracted to the fact that you're not a prude. You let loose sometimes, and you're not afraid of dancing like nobody's watching and looking like a fool, and you're like, you're not doing like, you're not the type of person who caves into peer pressure. Like if the rest of the group that you're with don't want to dance, then you're not gonna be stopped by, like, you're gonna dance even if nobody wants to dance with you. Then you're just gonna dance alone. But that might resonate with some of you, but only. But I also think, like, some, like, people are attracted to the fact that you are not that you're that you're a social person, that you see the value in socializing, and having fun times with others, and prioritizing going out and having fun in the weekends, but also like maybe you're if some of you drink alcohol, then I think people are attracted to the fact that you do that, or maybe attracted to you when you're drinking, because maybe you are more maybe you're more extroverted when you drink, and people are more maybe more attracted to you when you drink, but not necessarily that they wouldn't be attracted to you when you don't drink, but more that yeah, I don't know, but like some people might also be attracted to the fact that you can drink quite a lot, that you have a good threshold or whatever for like drinking, or like you I don't know what you call that, but tolerance, I think. Yeah, tolerance. Maybe you have a good tolerance, and so but that's maybe only specific for a few of you. But I think the people who are most attracted to you have met you at parties, or so it seems. Like people, because of the person that maybe you're just I don't know. But yeah, maybe you're just more fun at parties. It doesn't have to have anything to do with alcohol, but just that you're more fun at parties. And so, but I'm also gonna shuffle some of these archetype cards, just to see if there's any more about what makes you so attractive to others. Some more information on that. Okay, so the rescuer card. So so I think this card says provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out love with no expectations of reward. Or acts out of love with no expectations of reward. I think that was what I said, but I read it differently. But I think people see you as someone who's very supportive to others in crisis, maybe more so in crisis, like maybe because you've been through so much, so you and I think people find that attractive about you, that that you seem to always know the right thing to say, and you seem to be the type of person who gives out really good advice, especially to those in crisis, especially to those who are going through something difficult. You always seem to have the right answer, or the right thing to say. You always know what to say. And people find you very supportive, and find that attractive about you, that you also seem to be very understanding. Like you don't look at people like people like the fact that they can come to you and tell you their deepest, darkest secrets, and they do so because they know that you're not going to judge them. Like you're not very judgmental. You're very tolerant towards people. Like, there's nothing someone could say to you that would make you hate them forever, or leave them, or ignore them for the rest of your life, or completely push them away from you. Like, you wouldn't push anybody away just because of something they told you. I think people see you as the type of person that they could go to if they murdered someone, and they had the body in their freezer. They would go to you because they would know that you would help them get rid of the body. Because you love them, and you wouldn't, like, I think you would judge, like, people know that you would judge them, but they know that that they could trust you with that, and that you would help them without asking questions. I don't know if it's a good thing, but it's something people find attractive about you, is that they know that, like, if they were in a relation, people think of you, like, when they think of you as and think of how it would be to be in a relationship with you, they think that, like, if they murdered someone, then you would be their partner in crime and help them dispose of the body. I don't know if it's a good thing, but it makes you attractive to some people. I don't know if it's the right people, but it's people nevertheless. So but with a rescuer card, like, I think people also see you as a bit of a rescuer, the hero, the person who wants to say, like, this, someone who you might have, like, a bit of a savior complex, but this is like, people find it attractive that you are like, many people look at you as someone who could rescue them, and that is something that makes them attracted to you. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was entertaining, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, please look down in the description box below for more information on how to book one. And yeah, have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose these angel tarot cards, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 3. Group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3. Group number 3. Group number 3. What makes group number 3 so attractive Um, Group number 3. I think people people see you as some people find it attractive that you that you like people see you as an optimist. People see you as someone who believes everything can like everybody can do anything, like or everybody can do everything. Like you don't seem to see a lot of limitations. Like you believe that with work you can accomplish anything. Or and I think people find it attractive that you seem to see possibilities instead of like you look at the glass half full instead of half empty. And I think you also, I don't know if you feel that way about yourself. Like, I don't know if you are a very optimistic person about yourself and about your life, but I think when you speak to others, when you talk to others, you are optimistic on other people's behalf. Like, if someone comes to you and says to you that, oh, they are worried about this and that, and oh, it's never gonna work out, and they shouldn't do this because they're not smart enough, they shouldn't do that because they're not funny enough, they shouldn't do this because they're not pretty enough, they should, like, then you always talk them out of being so self-critical. Like, I think you're good at complimenting others, and you're good at making people feel good about themselves, and you are optimistic about on other people's behalf. Like, if people talk to you about something, then like you might talk about how you want to start your own antiquity store or something, and then you talk like, or someone might no, like if someone else, maybe some of you wants to, maybe some of you wants to buy or wants to start an antiquity store, but I think this is more about, like, if someone else came to you with the idea of starting an antiquity store, but they felt like they didn't have enough experience, or they didn't really know where to start, then you are very good at pushing them in the right direction and saying, oh, it's not that hard, it's not like it's not that complicated, you just have to start somewhere, and like and like you are good at seeing possibilities, and you are good at maybe also making other people's dreams come true by making them realize that it's really not that hard. Like, they just have to start somewhere. Like, it's not, and I think people find that attractive about you, is that you seem to see the potential in the people that you talk to. And you make people feel very seen, and you make people feel like you believe in them, and you believe they can accomplish anything, and like, you pep them up, and it's kind of with the justice card reversed, I think this is not about how you're not like this card says, makes truth known in court, causes innocence to prevail. But I'm more focused on makes truth known in court. I think when it comes up reverse, I think people find it attractive that you are like you have your own moral compass. Like you don't. I don't think you believe in the justice system for good reason. It's also very bad. But I think you strongly believe that it's faulty, and maybe you have a very strong opinion about it, and you like to talk about it very passionately, how flawed the justice system is and how it should be very different, and how if you were the one in charge, you would change it a lot, or make it completely different. And I think when you talk about that, I think people find it very attractive that you are so passionate, and also has a very intelligent view on, or opinion about it. Like you seem to be very like you have done your research. You know your stuff. Like you're not just talking out your ass. Like you really so like I think people also, like when you might be a bit of like the quiet type. Like you might be an introvert, you might be a bit shy, and you might not talk a lot when you're with other people. You might be the one who keeps silent mostly, but I think when you say something, it's always very very thought through. Like you think things through, you think before you speak, you make sure that you know your stuff. Like you've researched it, you've read a lot of books about it, and then you can share your opinion about it. Like you don't want to share your opinion about something that you don't know enough about. Like and I think people notice that you always know, like everything you say is always profound. Like you always have something profound to say, and a lot of people are just talking out their ass, and so it kind of stands out from the crowd. Like when you start talking, because you're not talking out your ass, you're actually talking out of wisdom and experience, and gathered information, and I think you have some political opinions. Like you might also see a lot of things that are wrong with society as a whole, and how the society should be built up completely different, and maybe you have an idea on how to do that as well, and that's something you might have shared with people. And I think people find it very attractive that you have so many views or so many thought through ideas and thoughts and like profound ideas and thoughts, like yeah, I guess. And but there's also this one thing, and that is that even though you might see something bad about the justice system, you might have a tendency to see the good in every individual. Like, you might be very critical on systems, like the justice system, the society system, the like big systems, but you tend to always side with the individual, and you, but it's a good thing. Like, I think people find it attractive that you seem to always believe that like you seem to believe in the good in people. Like you believe that there's good in everyone, and that there's a reason behind everything that people do, and you kind of want to figure out the reason behind people's actions, and you want to see the good in people, and you want people. And maybe sometimes it's not justified. Like, sometimes you give people second chances that didn't deserve second chances. And sometimes you might believe that people have changed if they tell you they've changed. And some people around you might give you a hard time about how it's naive that you believe that they've changed. But I think people find it attractive that you give people second chances, that you don't give up on people, and that you make an effort into understanding people, getting to the bottom of things, getting to the core of the person, finding that there's no one person who's pure evil, and that everything has its root in something else. But I'm gonna shuffle some more cards. With this card here, this justice card, the lady is blind, but the card is reversed, or the lady is not blind, she's blindfolded, I mean. But the card is reversed, and so I think people find your eyes quite attractive, that your eyes stick out and are very, like, not that they physically stick out or something, like, but that they shine, like that it's the first thing people notice about you when they see you is your eyes. And I think people are quite attracted to your eyes. You might have quite big eyes, or like a very distinct or whatever iris, or iris circle around the iris, or something like that. And with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, I think people find it attractive that you seem very youthful. I think people see you as someone who never gets old. Like you seem very like you don't age. Maybe you also have a bit of a baby face, and like you always look the same, and you always look youthful, and maybe you also have like a lot of energy, or like it seems that way, that you're very energetic, or you're just youthful. Like people don't believe that you're aging at all. Like they think, like I think people think that like when you're 60 you're gonna look exactly like you do now. Like it just seems as if you're not really aging at all. And maybe even that you're aging backwards. Maybe people felt like that you actually looked older a few years ago, so somehow you're aging backwards. Maybe you also had a glow up or something. Then I don't know, but and people have noticed that, like people. I think people find you very attractive, like very, like just in general, like very. But you might look more attractive now than you did a few years ago. I don't know why. But I think like people okay, so Five of Swords reversed. So I think people see you as someone who's very particular. I think people are very attracted to the fact that you know what you want. Like you seem to know your worth, and you know what's beneath you. You know, like even though you give people second chances, or maybe that was in the past. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's passé. Like maybe it has passed. Maybe that was just something that you maybe you did give your ex a lot of second chances, but now you know your worth. Now you know that you deserve better, and I think maybe in the past people were really attracted to you because you gave people second chances. But I think now people are attracted to you because you seem to not give people second chances, if that makes sense. That you're more selective, more particular with what you want, and what you know what's beneath you, and you know what you deserve. And I think like you're not just settling for with other people's leftovers. Like you get first in line. Like maybe in the past you were the type of person who just placed yourself in the complete, like, last in line for everything, and maybe you did that to yourself just because you didn't want to be in front of anybody else, like you wanted everybody else to have their chance before you, like you wanted maybe you had a tendency to put everybody before yourself in the past, but I think you are starting to prioritize yourself and make sure that you're not being that you're not robbing yourself, like you're not robbing yourself from, or you're not like, I think you're just, and I think people find it attractive that you're more actively pursuing what you want. You're not just waiting for people to come to you and offer you their leftovers. Like, you actively go to the beginning of the line or the end of the line. That's the beginning of the, but and I think also, like, people see you as someone who is not gonna, like, people see you as someone who might have been hurt in the past. Like, you might have, like, people, maybe you've experienced that someone cheated on you or something, and like, you want to make sure that, like, that never happens again, like, and so I think I don't know, it's a bit complicated, but I just think people can tell that you're tired of the bullshit. You're that maybe also that you're choosing yourself, that you have done a lot of self-empowerment for the past years, like that you realized that you're a goddess and that you deserve better than to be cheated on, and so you might be very selective. Like, you don't take just any offer that comes to you. Like, if someone asks you on a date, you don't just say yes just because you don't want to hurt the person's feelings, even though that might have been something you did in the past. Like, you might have dated some people in the past that you didn't actually have any interest in whatsoever, but you just didn't want to hurt their feelings by rejecting them, and so you went on some dates with them just to make them happy. And maybe those days are completely over and you realized that you're in power, you decide, and maybe you've also flipped it up a bit, and now you're the one pursuing suitors, and you're not waiting for suitors to pursue you, which I think people find attractive. Like, people find it attractive that that you're rejecting people. People might see that as, like, maybe they see it as a bit of a challenge in a way, like that you seem like the person who's hard to win over, and so maybe some people kind of get thrilled by the idea of actually winning you over when they know that you've rejected some other people, so they want to be the special one that you won't reject, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like entering in a popularity contest. You kind of have to make an effort, I just think this, with the Nine of Pentacles, I think this person sees you. So I don't know why I'm talking about one person here. Have I been doing that for the whole reading? I don't think I have. Maybe it's just, so I feel like there's one person. There is this one person that you're thinking of right now, that maybe that's why you watch this video. Maybe you're not really interested in knowing what makes you so attractive to everybody. Like, maybe you are actually more interested in knowing what makes you attractive to one particular person in your life. And that one particular person, I think that one particular person sees you as a very independent, self-empowering, self-sufficient, confident, sensual person. And I think, but I think this is also what other people find attractive about you as well. So it's and I also like this person, like this angel here has really, really great boobs as well. So I think people find, like, people are very, very attracted to your body, and especially your breasts. I think people find you very attractive, like your physical body. I think people find your physical body quite attractive, and your eyes, and like people see you as someone who's very, very beautiful, and I think people, like in the past, I think people didn't really understand why this gorgeous person, why this gorgeous person was dating these low-life people. So I feel like some of you have been dating some people that were questionable and maybe not really that pretty, and also had shitty personalities as well. And I think people around you just didn't get it. Like, they didn't get why you would lower your standards so much when you were like a 10 out of 10, and the people that you were dating, they were like 4 out of 10 on a good day. And So I think like people see you as someone really beautiful, but I think people realize that you might not know, in the past I think people felt like that you felt like you didn't actually know how beautiful you were. But I think now it seems as if you kind of have realized it, and I think people really like seeing how you're actually starting to embrace your femininity if you're a woman. If you're a man, then just to embrace your, well, the way you look. Maybe you were very critical in the past, and maybe you still are a bit critical about yourself. But I think you have worked a lot with it and have come a long way in actually loving yourself. And I think people have noticed that you have become more confident recently. And I think people find that really attractive, that you are starting to realize your own worth. But I think some other people found it maybe more attractive back when you didn't know how attractive you were. But I think back then, I think that it was the wrong people who found you who found that attractive about you. Like it's a special kind of person who are attracted to people with low self-esteem, and it's not necessarily the types of people you would want in your life in a romantic sense. So it's good that you're attracting a different demographic now than you did before. So it's a good thing. This card also, this card says submission to higher order, identifies traitors and destroys their plans. And so I think people see you as someone who can look past the bullshit. You can see people's real intentions. You can cut through the bullshit. You can you see, like, you can tell if people are lying to you or manipulating you, or like you're not easy to manipulate. You're very smart, and like you're very attentive and aware, and you notice things about people, and you notice the red flags very easily. And I think people find it attractive that you can identify traitors and destroy their plans. Like you can that you might also be a bit psychic. Like you can read people's minds. You might be able to read what. Yeah, you might know what people are thinking, or and I think people find that kind of attractive, but also a bit scary. But I feel like people are kind of mesmerized by the fact that you seem to be able to figure them out quite easily, and also that you see people, like you can. People feel very seen by you, like you're like you see the real person behind the mask. but I'm also like with the submission to higher order. I think like some of you could be religious, but I'm also sensing that that you might be you might be a bit better at talking about bigger things than smaller things, like looking at things from a bigger perspective, or looking at the bigger picture, like, or the big picture. Like you're able to you're maybe also better at like talking about things as a whole than talking about the individual. Like you might be good at talking about Nazis, but it might be hard for you to talk about that one Nazi, like, or you know, or like talking about refugees as a whole. But you might have a hard time talking about one refugee, because like it's a hard distinction that you have to make, and like it's hard for everyone. But I think people, especially men, might like it if you are more keen on talking about like the whole than the one individual, because talking about the one individual is considered hysteria and feminine hysteria. It's considered more masculine to think about the whole group as a whole, like talking about refugees as a whole, instead of talking about that one refugee child who has lost his whole family and who is likely going to die of drowning. That makes it personal. It makes it more like, and that's something that females have a tendency to talk about when they talk about a refugee crisis. They talk about that one child, or like one that one child they want to save, the one child that they believe that is of course just one out of like, and that the one is the whole, that because the one is like it's just one representation of everybody in the group. But if you talk about the refugee crisis as like and the refugees as a whole, men like to talk about it that way more. They like to talk statistics. Men love statistics, like they love to talk about numbers. Don't like to put a face on the numbers. They just see that a number is causing harm, and then the number has to disappear without talking about the faces of the numbers. Yeah, and I think if you have been talking to men and have shown that you have the ability to talk about about statistics and numbers instead of talking about people as individuals, then men have very likely been very attracted to you in that conversation. So but if that makes sense, like I don't know, but I'm gonna shuffle some archetype cards as well, just to see if I can get some more some more a better a description of what makes people attracted to you. So the Virgin halfway came through, and so well, people could be attracted to the fact that you're a bit of a halfway virgin. I don't think you're a virgin, but you might have. Yeah, I feel like you're not, but maybe because, like, maybe you were in a relationship in the past and it didn't work out very well, but then you have had a period of time where you have been single, and maybe in some people's perspective, you've grown back your virginity by being single for a while. I don't know. But I'm gonna shuffle. It didn't. It came through halfway. Yeah. But I'm gonna see what else comes through about what people find attractive about you. Okay, it came that the lover. I think people see you as, like, people are attracted to to you as a lover, like, or maybe some people see you as someone who could be a lover, or someone, like, maybe there's someone in your life who is in a relationship right now that you have a crush on, and you know that they have a crush on you as well, but that it will never work out because they are in a relationship. I think this person is attracted to you, of course, but they might see you as someone who could be their lover, and I don't think you're interested in that. But I think this person is kind of thinking about the idea of making you their side hoe. But this card also says great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. And so people might just see you as a very passionate person and very devoted to maybe a cause. Like, it doesn't have to be a person, but that you have a lot of passion when it comes to something that you're very engaged in. Maybe also something that you do for work, or something that you study. Like, there could be something that you do for a living, or that you do in your everyday life, that you have a lot of passion about, that you love doing, that you have a lot of love for what you do. But with a judge card, you could be a lawyer, or in law school, or just interested in law in some way. But this card says balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. So I think people are attracted to the fact that you have this moral compass. Like, you seem to know what's right, and sometimes you don't agree with the justice system about what's just. But you're very passionate about what you believe is right and what you believe is wrong, and you might have a strong opinion about that, like what you believe is right and what you believe is wrong, and you might also talk to people about it with a lot of passion, but you also have compassion for others. So it's like when you meet someone, like this is maybe a bit in theory as well. Like you might have like this strong belief that that everyone who has done something criminal should get like a lot of jail time for it, but you might also have a hard time doing it in real life, like what's the word for it, like actually like one thing is being an idealist, but can you get it into reality? Like can you actually stand in front of a person who has done something, and like can you actually sentence that person to life? Like can you actually sentence someone to the electrical chair? Could you do that? Like if you stood in front of the person and got to know the person personally, like there, in theory, I think you're quite like you in theory, I think you might have very strong opinions about how the justice system should be harder on criminals, but I think that's more in theory, because when you meet someone who's a criminal, all that theory goes away because of your compassion for every human being. Like it's, I don't know, but I think people find it attractive that you are both just but also very compassionate. Like it's rare that someone is both, I guess. That someone can be both, because usually it's like men see the whole picture, women see the person and the individual, and it's rare that those two are combined in one person. But it's usually the best thing. Like we should have a harmonized, balanced coexistence of both the masculine energy and the feminine energy. And I think you have a great balance between masculine energy and feminine energy, which makes you very attractive to a lot of people, possibly even people from the opposite gender, I guess, or the not the opposite gender, but the same gender, or the opposite. I don't know, but with the Avenger here, it says desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And so it kind of goes hand in hand with the other things, I guess. I think you, or not, like I think you have a strong opinion on what's right and what's wrong, and you might disagree with the societal norms and also the justice system, and so sometimes you might want to be an avenger and balance the scales of justice to the point where it's more fitting in what you believe is just, and maybe not what what the justice system believes is just. I don't know, but I don't know why this reading is all about that. But for some, maybe this is just something people find really attractive about you, is that you have a strong opinion about morals, about justice, about what's right and what's wrong. And you have an idea of how to make the justice system better and how to make society better, and what's wrong with the justice system and what's wrong with society, and you possibly like to talk about it very passionately, which is something people find very attractive. To hear you talk about that, like people think you have brilliant ideas. And yeah, so that's all I have for you. Group number 3. I hope this reading was somewhat enjoyable, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, then check the description box below for more info on how to book one. And yeah, have a blessed day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this supernatural tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. Group number 4. So group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4. Group number 4. What's so attractive about group number 4? What's so attractive about group number 4? The people who will choose group number 4. I think people are quite attracted to the fact that you have a very alluring way, like there's something about you that, like something a bit out of this world, a bit alien, or more out of this, like the people. You could be an Aquarius, but you don't have to be. But I feel like there's just Aquarius energy here, like people see you as, like, people find it attractive that you seem to be out of this world. Like, you're not like you're not very average. Like you have, like, there's also something very mystical going on about you. Like, it's some people can't, like, I feel like people can't really wrap their head around it. Like, it's you have a presence that's very captivating, and you can spellbind people. Like people feel spellbound by you. Like there's something about you that like that just attracts people. Like people, like you're a magnet, and it's like a bit, I guess a bit supernatural in a way, like because the deck is also supernatural tarot deck, so I guess it's a bit supernatural. Like it's there's something, I guess a bit paranormal about you as well. Maybe you do have psychic abilities. Maybe you can see ghosts. Maybe you are a ghost. No, but maybe you do. Maybe you do some magic sometimes, or talk about magic, and maybe some people feel like you have made, like that you have put a spell on them, or like maybe people know that you're spiritual, or that you're into some spiritual stuff, like maybe tarot or maybe something else, and maybe people assume that because you're into that, then you must be into magic as well, and that you must be putting spells on people as well, and so they might assume that you put a spell on them because they don't know what it is about you that just captivates them. People see you as quite powerful, and maybe to the point where it's a bit frightening. But it's attractive to them. Like it's very mystical. Like there's something mystical about you. Like people want to get to know you. People want to know your secrets. Like you're the dark tall stranger in some way. Like you're but I think people are very, like, people see you as a bit of an enigma. Like they don't, they can't figure you out. Like they feel like maybe you are the type of person who can read people very easily, and so you can guess people's zodiac signs. You can guess people's, like maybe you are a bit claircognizant. I mean, and like you can maybe you just know things like about people, or about things that are going to happen, and like it's I don't know, but people see you as someone who, but also I just feel like people might see you as a mind reader. Like you can read people's minds, and people feel like you know their deepest, darkest secrets. Like, you know. And that kind of thing, but it's a bit attractive to people that you know. Like you might also have a bit of a look to you, where people can just tell that you know. that you know everything about them. Like you might have a bit of a smirk or but I think people find that attractive. Like people look into your eyes and they feel like you just look straight through them. Like that you can just look into their soul. Maybe also some people might have looked you in the eye, or you have looked someone in the eye, and that person felt like you were brainwashing them for some reason. Like they felt like you were like using your eyes to make them do something that they didn't want to do, or like I don't know, that you were hypnotizing them or something. And I don't think you were, but I don't know. But there might just be something like very suggestive about the way you are, like, or the way you might have a power over others, and maybe some people feel like they can't disagree with you. Like people, when you're in a conversation with people, you might notice that everybody always agrees with you for some reason. And I think it's because people feel like they can't disagree with you, and it's not because, it's more that like you have such a suggestive, like you can like you're so you can, what's it called, you're so good at maybe you're just good at changing people's minds. Like you can to the point where people feel like it must be a supernatural ability, because it's like you can sort of brainwash people into agreeing with you. But somehow people find that attractive. Like people find it mesmerizing. They want to know more about you. They see you as this powerful person who can kind of make everybody do whatever you would want them to do. Like you could make them dance if you just snapped your finger or something. And it's a big power to have, and it's something that both intimidates people, but also is very intriguing and attractive to people. Power is attractive, but I don't know. People, I think. I'm also like getting this picture of a chessboard, and I think people see you as someone who is always 2 moves ahead of everybody else. Like you're 2 steps ahead. You have thought out, like when you make your move, you have already thought about the future. Then like you're very strategic, maybe, or people sense that you can think 2 steps ahead of everybody else. Like you if that makes sense. Like but that you're always like that you have some kind of foresight, maybe also that you're able to calculate what other people are gonna do and act accordingly to that calculation. So some of you could be British. I don't know. But if you are, I think your accent is something that people are very attracted to. But also something about your hand movements. I think like some of you could be a Cancer rising or something. So you have the hands that are like, yeah. So the yeah, whatever. But you could talk a lot with your hands. And like maybe you have very sophisticated movements with your hands, which people find very attractive. You might also be very expressive with your body language. With the three of Three of Pentacles, I think people might put you on a pedestal. Like people look up to you. People are attracted to the fact that you are a bit higher than everybody else. It seems like you have a higher consciousness than everybody else. Like you, when people's mind ends, like you have another another, what's it called, another story, like in an apartment, like what's it? Oh, I don't know. But like you have another layer on top. Like it seems like you have like a higher consciousness than everybody else. You're more self-aware. You seem to be able to see things from a higher perspective. You're maybe very spiritually guided and very intuitive. And I think people find that very attractive, but also intimidating in some way, because they feel like you're very intuitive to the point where you could potentially read their mind and tell the future, which gives you a big advantage over other people, because having foresight is like the greatest gift there is, like being able to see 2 steps ahead so that you can act accordingly. It's a blessing. And the people see that as a blessing, and people see it as attractive as well. That like people might see you as someone who would be very beneficial to be in a relationship with, because like especially if you are friends with someone who is into buying stocks and stuff like that, then you would be a good partner to have on their side, because you could use your foresight to predict how the stock market is going to be and stuff like that. And so that could be beneficial. And I think but I'm also like sensing that a lot of people come to you for advice because of the fact that you have some foresight. Like people might come to you about career advice, like what's the right step for them, because they always know that they can get really good advice from you. And it's always seems to be the right advice that you give them. With the Four of Pentacles, I think people people might see you as someone like you might be reading everybody's minds, and like you know everything about everyone, but nobody knows anything about you, and that kind of gives you that mystical vibe, like and even mythical, like, because people might wonder, like, do you really exist? Because who are you? Like, what are you? Are you an alien, or are you even real? Because no one really knows who you are. No one can read your mind. You can just read everybody else's mind, and no one can really pick your brain. And so you are this enigma to everybody else, but no one is an enigma to you, because you can figure most people out, which kind of makes this disbalance, really, because I don't know, but with the Six of Pentacles, I think people feel like you know them, like you, and again the same, like people feel like when you start talking to someone, people feel like you're talking to them as if you already know them, and that kind of, like, people find that attractive, that you people like to be seen. People enjoy being around people who see them for who they are. And so the fact that you can acknowledge who they really are really gives you a big advantage over others, because even though it's a bit threatening, or not threatening, but a bit frightening to some people, intimidating to some people, that you can read their mind, I think most people like the fact that you can see them for who they truly are. And people like to be seen. That's why many people go to therapists. It's not really to solve their issues. It's more to do with just wanting someone to see them for who they really are. And I think you are able to do that. You are able to see people for who they really are, and maybe you should become a psychologist, because I think you would be really great at it. Or a therapist, or if that's not something you're interested in, like, then coaching, or being a psychic medium, or working as a, like, but you weren't asking for career advice, so I'm going to stop myself. But I think people see you as a bit of a psychologist, even just your friends and family, like, they see you as someone they can come to with their problems, because you already seem to know. So, like, they don't have to explain a lot to you. Like, they don't have to explain the whole situation in details, because you already know a lot of it without them even telling you about it. Like, so it kind of shortens the amount of time that they have to use on explaining themselves, because they don't have to. And I think people find that very attractive. And yeah, I think many people find that attractive about you, that you see them, that they don't have to explain themselves to you because you already know. And if they say something wrong, you don't ask them what they meant, because you know what they meant. Like if they say the wrong word, you don't ask them like what they meant by that, because you know that they just said the wrong word. You know what word they meant to say, and so you don't. There aren't a lot of miscommunication with you. Not a lot of misinterpretations or confusion about things, or misunderstandings. Because you tend to always know the truth, and people's intentions, even if they behave in a different way than their intentions are. If people call you a cunt, you know that they don't mean it. They are just frustrated about something completely different. You can put things in perspective, and you just instantly know that they don't mean it that way. And so then they come to you afterwards and apologize to you and say, oh, they said that, but they didn't mean it at all. And you can just tell them, you knew that, so they don't have to apologize, because you already knew that they didn't mean it that way. So it kind of simplifies things, which I think people find attractive, is that they, even though you're very mythical, scary, witchy, magical, spellbinding person, people still see you as more simple than the average person. You're more simple to be around. They see you as someone who would be simpler to be in a relationship with, because you're no nonsense. There wouldn't be any misunderstandings. You would always know the truth. There wouldn't be any miscommunication. It would go more swimmingly. It wouldn't be like being in a relationship with a normal person or an average person, I don't know, I don't know, would possibly be more of a, more complicated. And I think that's one of the things people find attractive about you, is that you're kind of a simple acquaintance to be around. You're there aren't a lot of problems around you. People rarely have issues with you, or get into arguments with you, or have problems that needs to be solved with you, because problems usually get solved very easily. And so it seems that you're like a no-nonsense kind of person, and people dig that. And so and with the Five of Pentacles, I think people people might see you as a bit of an as a bit of an outsider. That's possibly the Aquarius energy as well. Like, people see you as someone who doesn't quite fit in, even though you're a very simple acquaintance and very, like, people feel like but like, it's not that people feel like it's hard to be around you, not at all. It's actually the opposite. But people feel like it must be hard to be you, and not to be understood in the world, and not having anyone who actually understands you 100%, because you are so alien-like in your way of being. And so people wonder if you actually if it's a bit lonely to be you, and being the one person who understands everyone, but who's misunderstood by everyone. Like, yeah, possibly there you might not have a lot of misunderstandings with people. Like, you might not misunderstand a lot of people, but a lot of people might misunderstand you, which is very unfair. Like, you might not have, like, that you might not have a lot of miscommunication with other people. Like, you don't misinterpret people's words, but other people might misinterpret your words, and put words in your mouth that doesn't belong there, and so you might be the one that's misunderstood by others. And I think people find it attractive, though, that you are so that you are an outsider, because an outsider has an outsider view on things, and sometimes, like, when sometimes we don't see things clearly because we're too tangled into like the societal norms and how we're supposed to think about things, and when someone comes in and is a bit of an alien who perceives the world in a completely different way than everybody else, it's intriguing to people. People find it attractive. People want to know more. People want to I feel like people around you want to see your perspective on life. Like, they want to know how you perceive the world, how what's your take on things, because you might be a bit upside down. Like, you see things a bit in a whimsical way, and people want to pick your brain, but I feel like people also have a hard time because of the Four of Pentacles. There seems to be a barrier. Maybe you have a barrier around you where it's kind of hard for other people to really get into your brain, and like, because maybe you've always felt like the weird one. Maybe you were even bullied in school for being the weird kid, and so you have this defense mechanism where you don't share your thoughts and your because you're afraid that people are gonna notice your weirdness, or that it's gonna that people are gonna bully you or make fun of you for. And so maybe you have a defense mechanism where you keep your thoughts a bit for yourself, and I think people would like to be invited more inside, but I'm also getting that people are attracted to the fact that you don't share a lot, because it makes you this mystical person, like you're a mystery to people, and people love to solve mysteries. People love to look at, like, to watch mystery shows about mysteries, like and like people love to solve mysteries, and so people are attracted to you because they want to solve the mystery. And the more time you drag it, like the more you drag it out, the more people are gonna be prickly, or what's it called, like interested, like it's gonna lure people in. So yeah, but I'm gonna shuffle some of these archetype cards just to see if I can get a bit more about what makes you so attractive to other people. Servant. So this card says, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. I think people see you as, well, a bit like as a servant. Maybe people also feel like you're doing a service for others, like you're reading people's minds, and you're being there for others, and like maybe you're even reading for others, or reading tarot for others, or doing something for others, and maybe you don't get a lot in return for doing that. Like maybe you're foreseeing the future for other people, like but you never want anything in return. Like it's, or maybe you want some. Maybe you just don't get a lot in return from doing so. But people find it attractive that you are like that you do things for others, and you do it because you have because you have a lot of interest in other people, because you have a lot of love for others, and a lot and that you care for others, but when I saw the word servant, I kind of read it like serpent when I just saw the card now, and so I think of the snake in the Adam and Eve, the Adam and Eve story, and so maybe some people feel like you're a bit of a snake in paradise, like you're a bit of like you're of course that's not the snake, but you're the forbidden fruit. I know it doesn't make sense with the metaphor, but because it's not, yeah. But I think people do see you also as a bit of like maybe a bit of a trickster. Like maybe everywhere you go, you kind of stir the pot in a way. Like you not in a intriguing way. Like you're not. Is that it is meant? But like you're not trying to. I don't think you're trying to stir the pot just to make like but I think you make people think, or like you're not afraid of saying, of being direct to people. Like if you're talking to someone and you feel like there's something that they need to change in order to move forward, or if you sense that there's something about a person that's keeping them from achieving their goal, like if you know what is binding them, or what or something, like if you know what they need to change in order to move forward, you might say that. Like you might be like a running tower, like you or the not the running tower, but the running lightning in the like you kind of strike into people's towers, people's towers, I guess. Like you might be the trickster, the one who causes a bit of chaos or havoc in people's mind for a moment, but I think people thank you later because you make people realize what they need to change. Like but I think people find it attractive that you are very direct and honest and cutthroat. So yeah, and you come in and you ask the hard questions, like the serpent. Like you come in and you challenge the status quo. Like people, and that's the outsider. It's only the outsider who can do that, because it's only the outsider who can come in to the Garden of Eden and start questioning what God has told Adam and Eve to do. Like because it's only an outsider who can see that there might be something wrong with or who can question things that has not been questioned before, because Adam and Eve never questioned the truth of what God had told them. They never questioned it. And so I think when you have the same kind of power, where you come into a room where, or like you might and like everybody might like maybe in like if you come to a workplace and everybody's somehow idolizing one person or putting one person on a pedestal for whatever reason and giving that person a lot of power over the whole workplace or something, you might be the type of person who gets into the workplace and starts asking the other co-workers, like, what do you see in that person? Like, that person, what does she have, like, that you guys don't have? Like, she's not above you guys. You're just as qualified as she is, and you're just as like, why are you putting this person on a pedestal when you might be the type of person who goes in and like can see the, like you see it for what it is, and you question it. Like you make people question the hierarchy, the social hierarchy, the social norms, the things that people are doing without thinking about it, the things that everybody has been doing from birth just because It's what generations upon generation before them had been doing. And so, like, I think you are that outsider type who can question things that no one has had the thought about questioning. Like, so yeah, I think people people are attracted to the fact that you make them question things, and you make them realize things that seems obvious when you say it to them, but they just never realized it. And so you are very good at opening people's eyes, giving people clarity, making people realize things, giving people epiphanies about their life and about their work dynamic, their marriage dynamic, you're good at putting things in perspective for people, and people are very attracted to you because of that. Like, people see you as someone they would want to date or be in a relationship with, because they see you as someone who could change their life. You could change it for the better. Like, you could make them realize, who wouldn't want to be like in a relationship with their therapist in some way? Like, like you get therapy all day long. I don't know. Maybe it's not that good. I don't know. Wouldn't know. But I don't think it's. But yeah. But I think people are attracted to the fact that you seem to that you, like, people are attracted to what you can do for them. It's a bit egotistical, but I feel like some people see you as someone who could save them, like a savior to them. Like, you could come into their life and put their life upside down, change everything, and make them a better person. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was enjoyable, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And yeah, have a blessed day, and bye.